ready tonight. Got my KBLP, TWD, Denise Harris, IKE Diaz. We go live. We were trying to move the show back to Monday so we can accommodate one of our other podcasters. And then all of a sudden, it didn't work out for them. It said they can only do it Fridays and Saturdays. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Oh, well.
So I said, we'll just stick to Tuesdays. And
that works.
Tuesdays is fun. That gives us a day to think about the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Think about the whole TV show from Sunday, because Sunday was like I said, it was a good episode. So let's go ahead and let's start out with Rick and Michonne journeying out on their love conquest or love and carnival date. There's like all kinds of stuff you can say with that. Like there's like some jokes, and then there's like some seriousness of it all, and there's a few different things, huh? What do you think?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
You know.
So they left out in the van, and what do you think about them staying out? It ended up working out good. What did you think about them when she was trying to fight back with him about going back to camp?
Yeah, she's worried about what's going on at home, but everything it's pretty cool yet. So. I think they deserved a few days. I really do.
Together alone.
Away from everybody, everybody asking, what are we going to do with this? How are we going to do that? What's the plan? What's this? Rick needs a break because he's still processing Glenn's death. So he needed that. He needed that time.
Yeah. So it was fun to see them get away and do something. Besides, I push play on that. And then they, right off the bat, they show them actually getting a chance to be alone together, which I guess back at Alexandria, they really don't get the chance because the baby's there and Carl's there, and
Yeah, there's people there all the time.
Yeah, so they really don't get a chance to spend a lot of time. So I guess that was their moment to kind of like honeymoon, I guess, right?
Yes. And when do you think that's a good question because it came up on the talking dead.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Yeah. Now she says yes, they're married. Do you think they are?
Yeah. The reason the other thing that I wanted to bring up, there's two things I want to bring up with this. That's why I wanted to start with Rick and Michonne. Is okay. Later on, we're going to talk to where Michonne thought she lost Rick. She thought he was getting eaten by zombies. Okay, that was my original problem with Michonne and Rick being together. I didn't like it because they're two of the most powerful people on the show. And I thought they would get each other into problems or get the group into harm's way by being together because that love is going to step, they're going to cross bounds like they did this weekend kind of.
Yeah, that was kind of, you're right there. That's kind of scary.
And that's why, in past podcasts, that's why I said things that I wasn't happy with their relationship.
Yeah. I think they're almost too good for that to happen, though. They got each other's backs big time. They figure, they're just ninjas,
Yeah.
So, in a way they're safe, but there's always that little chance in there. Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, so,
you're right.
So the other thing I was leading into was you found out with Glenn and Maggie, after the protection's gone, there's no protection, and pregnancy happens, and you could have another Rick running around. Is something I wanted to bring up, and that's going to hurt the group, especially if they take on Negan if she's pregnant. So that's something that that nobody's really brought up at all. It's kind of like I don't know, everybody's shying away from it. So I wanted to step into it just for a second and just hopefully we have some comments back from any of our listeners, anybody who has I don't know, they're still at an age where they can have kids. So
Yeah.
you're gonna want to repopulate in the apocalypse. So they have Judith in the apocalypse. So why not another baby?
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So, but later on, as we go on here, we're gonna get to, because I had they had ran into those guys playing golf while they were out on their journey.
Yeah, that was kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, it was. They were like four, and they were like weird. So, what was your take on that scene?
I don't know. It's just out there. That was an interesting scene to have in there. Just to get, batteries, but I thought it was good. I liked it. It was a little levity, in the show. It was all dark.
It kind of took it kind of left, did it? It kind of took it kind of weird, but it all ended up getting back to normal. Yeah,
I did, but I thought it was good. It kind of put some fun into it almost, a little levity.
Yeah.
What they were, so I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty fun episode. The thing, like I was saying, it kind of reminded me of them going on a date to the carnival.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they got to this carnival. They fall down. They just by the grace of everything that's happening, they find food. They see the carnival. They fall into a trap. I mean, I think it's probably part of the fair, right? The trap that they fell into, or something, or what was that?
What was what? That place they fell into?
Yeah, they fell into.
I think it was a storage area.
Okay.
Okay, like a storage area.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the soldiers were sent there to guard the food, but they, ended up being turned. So I think that's what happened.
Okay, yeah, because there were soldiers there, and
still wearing their guns, mind you.
Yeah,
which was pretty good.
And the funny thing is, on the Talking Dead, they did make fun of that. Rick was trying to fight one soldier while Michonne was taking on like 20 people or 20 zombies. So that was pretty funny that they brought that up.
What did you think about when the gun went off? I thought it was actually somebody standing there at first.
I wanted to bring that up too, and I thought it was somebody shooting.
I did for a split second.
Yeah,
I thought, oh God, who found him?
Yeah, so that was kind of weird, and then getting into the car and jumping out of the trunk, and he was like, "Hey, could you hear me?"
That was pretty cool the way they set that up with the gun in the walker. I thought that was great. There's a walker going against these poles, pulling the trigger. But for a split second, I thought, somebody who followed them. I thought somebody followed them over there. But that was that one episode. It was Winslow. Now it's the walkers with the guns. So they're coming up with it. It's pretty cool.
So the shot that Michonne took before they fell into that where the food was at, and she hit the toy, the things to knock them down. It was like, it kind of reminded me like they were on a date and she wanted something for Rick,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I thought it was kind of silly and kind of cute at the same time. So they kind of get separated for a second. Rick climbs up into that thing. He sees the deer. They thought that I thought they were going to have deer meat, and Michonne takes him over to the slide to take him on and battle him. And and then led into my trivia question on why did Rick fall down. We don't have to say how he fell down.
Right.
The thing was, to me, okay, they had all those. What I wanted to talk about was, so all those walkers were around when Michonne got there. All those walkers were around the deer, after all, and the deer was fake. It was computer generated, guys. So for everybody who don't know, I thought it looked like a real deer. I didn't know it was computer generated. I know Denise has a lot to say about it from some of the reviews that she read.
yeah, some of the recaps I saw on it were like really, ripping them apart for, I'm really disappointed with that fake deer they had, or whatever. It's CGI. What did you think they were going to use, a real deer? Come on. I mean, that wasn't going to happen. But, to take that one scene and just rip it apart, I think is pretty bad. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good because you couldn't see if it was a deer or Rick at first.
On my side, my view, my thought of it was, I thought it was a real deer. But here's the thing. I wasn't watching it on my regular TV. I was watching it on an older model TV. And maybe that's why I thought it looked like a real deer.
It could be.
Real deer to me.
Yeah. But, I thought it was a good scene. It really, for a second, your heart was in your throat going, oh, my God, no.
I thought it was actually an awesome scene. I know people may have said it was kind of computerized, fake looking, but to me, I thought it was. I thought the deer looked real. I thought they were going to have deer meat that night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did too. Really.
Yeah.
And I love the the reaction. Michonne just froze. That was her world. I mean, you really could see that she did, how much she did love him, because she just throws the sword. But that was so cool when he got out and he throws her sword and she catches it. That was so cool.
So that leads us into what we were talking about pre-podcast, about them being in love and Rick telling her what's really shocking was if something ever happened to him, she would have to take over and lead the group. And she was the strongest one. And what really got to me was that this was the first time. I don't know if you've heard it before. I've looked it up on other podcasts, on other forums, on groups, and I never heard him say that. He said that he told her that he loved her. Did you hear that part? Yeah. I was on my end. I was pretty shocked, and then on top of that, telling her that she was going to have to take over if anything happened to him. So when she broke down into tears, in the chat, like I was saying, I was in Denise. I don't want to say her last name because it's kind of Latin and I'll mess it up.
Right.
But I writing it, I said it wrong. I said Rick really has a power over Michonne where he can make her cry. I didn't mean to be mean and make her cry. I meant that she loves him so much that if anything that happens to him or Carl or Judith, it brings her to tears, I think that they're the only ones keeping her alive, or else she would just give up. That's the only thing keeping her alive, really. That's what I think.
Keep her going, definitely. Yeah.
That's her strength right there. And after last night, it proved it to me, because of her facial expression. She had just gave up when she thought Rick was gone. She just gave up. She wasn't going to fight no more.
Yeah. I think if anything would ever happen to Rick and it was her left in charge, I don't think that would be it for her. She would be a hard person. There would be no love for. I mean, she would care for the group or whatever. But there would be no love there anymore. But she'd be done.
Yeah, because she came to the show without a heart, and then through the show she's built a heart. You could see a heart in her now. But when she first got to the show, she was like soulless. If you remember. When she was walking around her brother or her husband and her brother or her husband's brother, remember when she was walking them around?
Oh yeah.
She looked at Rick through the fence. Do you remember that's when they had first met? She looked up at him and showed him that she wasn't a walker. And he told her come down, and I remember the first time they ever met, and I guess if you look back at it, I guess that's when they fell in love, huh?
Yeah.
She looked like a walker, and she was walking walkers, and I don't know. So if anything were to happen later on.